Here we go. Thank you so much to everybody who's on this call and who is going to watch the recording of this incredible call this morning. We are talking to the unbelievably amazing Jessica Crate in America this morning. It's evening for her. And Jessica Crate is an athlete from a young age. I believe that she started her athlete's career right in high school even. And what's so interesting about Jessica is the fact that how she's reinvented herself over time. So she started off in track and field. She moved on to half marathon and marathon running, during which she got an injury. She broke her foot when she was 26 years old. And during recovery and repair of that, she got into some swimming and some cycling for her recovery, which landed her thinking, why not give triathlon a go? And if you know Jessica, if you have you had a look at her credentials on the invite, you'll see that whatever she touched turns to gold. She ended up doing short distance, then long distance, then half Ironman, and even Ironman triathlons. And she is a world-class athlete in all of the departments that she touches. What we had an interesting conversation earlier in the week I had with Jessica was prior to 26, the interesting hacks that she used to use before knowing about cellular activation, and I'll let Jessica tell you that interesting story. What is the most exciting for me to share today is that Jessica is actually 3 weeks away from becoming a mum. So that's really exciting. We can all just give her a beautiful round of applause and a congratulations for that. So she's even reinvented herself once again from being an absolutely phenomenal athlete to being one of the most glowing pre-birth faces I've ever seen in my whole life. And I'm sure she's got some amazing secrets that she can share with anybody who's pregnant and staying fit as well at the same time. So Jessica, would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. It is always a joy and a privilege to connect with you and your beautiful team and everyone that's tuning in globally or watching the replay. I love being here. And, you know, it's being activated has truly transformed not only my life, but my mindset. And I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, taking those incremental steps every day to switch that flip on or flip that switch on and really truly live a life that demands an explanation, cultivate a champion mindset and feel so good. You know, I don't know about you guys, but as we get older, we get complacent. Any of you just go, oh yeah, I get tired. Oh yeah, I just feel that way. No, stop it right now, because you don't have to settle for complacency. You can truly feel just how good your body's designed to feel. So I'm looking forward to diving in and talking more about that with you tonight.
That's fantastic. I love that saying, and your motto is that champion mindset, you know. And as I said, Jessica has reinvented herself several times. She's actually a coach, she's a life coach, she's a yoga instructor, and there isn't much that Jessica cannot do. And I know that she was already turning things to gold before she got an injury. But it was when she was 26 and she broke her foot training for a big world event that she got introduced to the power of cellular activation. And Jess, if you wouldn't mind just sharing, I'd love to talk about what you were using. What I love about this story is that, you know, we hear it a lot. Oh, I'm young, I don't need to be activated and such. Jessica was a world-class athlete from in her teens, in her school and college years, right up until 26 when she broke her foot. What she would have used for assistance, I guess, if you want to call it that, run through a little bit about what you did as an athlete before activation.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction. And yeah, so first of all, I'd like to preface, if you're on here, you don't have to be an athlete, quote unquote. But really, I love the quote by Bill Bowerman, who founded Nike. He says, if you have a body, you are an athlete. So treat it as such, right? No matter what we do, we always want to look, feel, live, and perform at our optimal potential. Even if you're just going to do your groceries better, your laundry, or focus on the computer, your job, or your kids, we all want to perform at our best and feel our best. So when I first started training, as an athlete, nutrition wasn't something that was at the forefront of my mindset. I mean, our family ate pretty healthy. We always had well-balanced meals. But as I got competing, it was okay, well, how do I recover faster? All I knew back then was Tylenol and ibuprofen. And that was really my only thing that I took before and after races was Tylenol and ibuprofen. And then as I got into athletics, it was like, okay, I was that chick. I was like a biohacker's nightmare. I was that one that was taking a baggie full of supplements, vitamins A through Z. And one point, one of my birthdays, one of my grandparents said, hey, Jess, we've got this pill box. Why don't you try what we use for all our pills? And you could do this for all your supplements. And I was like, oh, geez, there's got to be another way. Right. And so for me going, oh my gosh, like I'm taking all these supplements. I'm still getting injured. I was dealing with horrible insomnia. I would go to bed, have anxiety about getting to sleep, wake up in the middle of the night and have anxiety about getting back to sleep, not get enough sleep, wake up and fill a pot of coffee, chug half of it, and then fill another cup up for the road when I was in corporate America, and just was living this horrible, unhealthy lifestyle, and then reaching for energy drinks and espressos in the afternoon just to get me through the day. So as you can imagine, this cycle, if I had kept that up over the last 10 years, I can't imagine where I'd be. So just not only going, hey, okay, something's broken, you got to fix it. Any of you go, okay, nothing's working, I've got to flip a switch on somehow, and you just needed a reset. Anybody need a reset? That was me. So I'm super grateful somebody introduced me to activation, but that was kind of my life before, Andrea.
And what's so interesting is you probably didn't even realize that you needed to flip that switch. It was only when you had a breakdown. And sometimes I find that's what happens in life. It's only when we're forced to give something some thought, we take that old mindset of, oh, don't fix something till it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened to you. Unforeseen circumstances, you broke your foot and then got introduced to the power of activation. And run us through, I mean, originally back then it was really only NRF2 to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that change your performance, and how did that change you as an athlete?
Well, first of all, when you're running marathons, you're pumping a lot of oxygen through your bodies, and that puts a lot of stress on your system, which we now know as oxidative stress, right? And so for me, I was like a raging free radical. Like I had all this oxidative stress, and running marathons was not doing anything more beneficial to my system, even though exercise is good for you in moderation. I was kind of on that high end, right? So even though I was healthy, I was still putting a lot of damage and stress on my system. And so when someone said, hey, there's something that can reduce inflammation by 40% in 30 days, I said, wait, hold on. Like Tylenol and ibuprofen just aren't cutting it. And I know that they're not great for me. So let me take a look at this research. So when I did back then, this is 2011, there was 3 studies on this all natural product. And I said, holy cow, like I needed this yesterday. I put it in my system. I started taking Protandim NRF2. And within 2 weeks, I had recovered in half the time. I started feeling recovery within half the time my therapist said I would. Rebounded from injury, from breaking my foot. Ended up running one of my second fastest marathon times on only a month of training. And then fast forward 8 years later, was injury free for 8 years. Like even the nagging little pains like joint pain, plantar fasciitis, hip, like all the things we can't say we cure, prevent, or treat any disease, but when you look at what oxidative stress does to your system and link that to any illness, you can see what happens when you start to reduce that by almost 50%, what that can do to benefit your system. So for me, just the recovery was huge, performance was huge, but quality of sleep was something that just was a game changer in my life. Just being able to fall asleep and sleep through the night and wake up feeling more refreshed and more energized. I haven't touched a pot of coffee in probably 9 years, and Axio is now my go-to. But now I just love feeling better and feeling healthy the way our bodies are designed to feel. And I didn't really have to put this biohacking thing to the test because I've been feeling really good over the last 8 years up until last year. And if any of you are skiers, I live in Park City, Utah, and it's a world-class ski resort. And I was skiing last year and ended up tearing my ACL, blew out my entire knee. My doctor said, you pretty much fully damaged your knee. You can't do any more damage to it. So we're going to get you in for surgery. Tore my ACL, MCL, medial meniscus, just blew out my knee, and got in for surgery. And he said, you're not going to be running for another 6 to 9 months. So I was, kind of disappointed because running's my thing. And I love cycling and yoga. But within just taking these 3 products behind me, taking the Tri Synergizer, taking Axio, using our skincare, just my whole body is functioning like a well-oiled machine. So it wasn't surprising that within 3 months, a third of the time, he cleared me to run. So I had surgery in March and was running by June, which is pretty phenomenal. I've been injury-free now for a year. And now I'm pregnant. So using all the products as a pregnant mom, but they do work, and it's incredible just when your body is reducing inflammation, bringing up your energy, and then helping detox the stuff that shouldn't be in your system. That's what the Tri Synergizer does. And so when you're feeling your best, like think about your car. You wouldn't get in your car if it wasn't full of gas, if it wasn't clean, and if it didn't have its oil changed, right? So the same thing with your body. If you're going to run your car through the car wash and fill it with gas every week or every day, you better do the same thing for your system, because our bodies are the only thing that get us through this life. So hope that kind of helps, Andrea. And I know you've got a bunch of questions, but definitely a huge thing for recovery, performance, and then just overall health.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And like you said before, it doesn't matter what performance level you are as athletes, because obviously over the last month, we've been doing this Activate My Life June challenge, just trying to get people to be a little bit more forthcoming and put their goals out there to get moving. It doesn't matter if you are Jessica Crate, who turns everything to gold and just becomes world-class at everything, including pregnancy, as you can see. It can be absolutely anything. The fact that we can sleep better, which inevitably helps us recover better from whatever it might be, keeping our inflammation down and keeping our the rusting of the inside to a lower level, it benefits everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a world-class athlete or if you are recovering perhaps from an injury or preparing for some surgery like you just mentioned. So it really is for everybody. I like that you mentioned as well, being pregnant, that you're taking these products as well, because there's a lot of people that ask around those questions. And of course, you mentioned we can't claim to cure, treat, mitigate, or prevent any form of disease or disorder. But at the end of the day, it is for people across the board. And Jessica is certainly one that can show a product of the product. I think we've pretty much covered everything that we really need to in terms of keeping this nice and quick so that we can share it across the board. If we have any questions, I think we could absolutely shoot the questions to me and Activate My Life, and I can get questions directed to Jessica Crate. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your share. And from everybody at Team Activate and all over the world, we wish you the very best in the weeks to come with the birth of your son. And we look forward to seeing you getting back out there with the pram and getting running straight away. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And you guys just start today. Start with just one thing and it will lead to massive success over time. So change one little thing in your diet, in your system, in your habit, in your regimen, in your routine, and over time that's going to lead to massive success. And then you're going to continue that ball rolling. So thanks so much for having me on. Love you guys over in Australia. Can't wait to come visit you soon. We'll be strapping this little man on the outside and taking him around the world with us. So look forward to meeting you all.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jessica. Take care, everybody.